Big cities get a reputation for being expensive, and Chicago is no exception. You can definitely blow $300 in a weekend here, but people don't realize just how possible it is to spend a whole week in the city without spending a dime on entertainment. Today, I'll be sharing 8 of my absolute favorite free activities. Now, a lot of the free activities that are advertised around town are only sort of free, like window shopping or free concerts, where someone is really just trying to get you to spend money indirectly. In opposition to this, I've tried to select activities that exist somewhat outside the realm of commerce. I will note that some of these things are only free for Chicago residents, so keep that in mind. But without further ado, let's get into the list. Number one, the lake. This is probably the single most obvious item on the list, but it really is pretty great. For those not in the know, a very significant chunk of the Lake Michigan coastline has been made open to the public. It has beaches, cool little lookout points, and an 18.5 mile walking and biking trail between everything. During tourist season, parts of it can get very crowded because it's not exactly a hidden gem, but you can very easily go out with a picnic blanket and a lunch and spend all day there. I will note, though, that for a good portion of the year, the water is too cold for swimming. Number two, pickleball at Grant Park. There are 16 new courts at Grant Park that opened in the fall of 2023. These courts are incredibly popular, which comes with positives and negatives. On some nice weekends, there might be 6 people waiting to play on each court. The upside of this is that you can find a wide variety of skill levels, and you by no means need to come with other players in order to find a game. Because it's packed, it can be a great place to meet new people. I see pickleball as the golf course for people who don't want to pay for golf. Number three, the 606. Basically, they took an old elevated rail line and turned it into a walking and biking path. Three things make it great: the absence of traffic, the people watching, and looking at all the cool houses in the neighborhood. As long as people aren't playing music too loud on their e bikes, it can be a pretty serene sort of escape from the city. As far as its utility as a transportation corridor, it's not super useful unless you're traveling east to west around Wicker Park, but whenever I use it, I'm shocked at how pleasant it is for walking and biking. Number four, the Garfield Park Conservatory. This place is sort of difficult to explain to people who haven't been to it before, but it's essentially a giant indoor greenhouse slash garden slash forest with plants from every corner of the world. They've curated some of the strangest and most exotic plants, and rooms are different themes, which adds some fun variety. There's also a slightly smaller version of the same thing on the north side, the Lincoln Park Conservatory, for those that don't feel like trekking out to the west side. Number five, free museum days. All of the large museums in Chicago, including the Art Institute, the Field Museum, Science and Industry, Shedd Aquarium, and the Planetarium, they have free days each year for Chicago or Illinois residents. You can find these dates with a quick Google search. Some of them have days where they even stay open late to cater to the locals as well, which is a nice touch. Some of these free days do have asterisks, though, with the planetarium requiring paid tickets for the individual shows and the aquarium having a $5 fee on top of the free ticket. But overall, the museums are a great way to spend an afternoon. Number six, the Harold Washington Library. This is the physically largest regular public library in the country. It has 9 floors and covers basically an entire city block. How interesting this place is will depend on your interest in libraries in general. Mostly, it's just a normal library with more books and cooler architecture. However, there are some interesting additions. It has some fun collections, like a whole map section. It has music practice rooms complete with pianos, and the winter garden on the top floor, which is basically a large atrium with plants on the walls, is a really nice place to sit and relax. The library also has events for adults, occasionally bringing in well known authors to talk. Number seven, Chicago International Film Festival's free screenings. On Wednesday evenings from May to September, there are free international movies screened at the Chicago History Museum or Chicago Cultural Center. Genres vary, but generally they're smaller, less corporate feeling indie movies. They all have English subtitles as well. The event feels like something you should have to pay $20 for, but it's actually free, and it can give you something to do on Wednesday evenings for the whole summer. Finally, number 8, volunteering at Working Bikes. Working Bikes is a nonprofit bike shop that takes donated bikes from the community, fixes them up, and either sells them to help fund the organization or donates them back to Chicago and countries around the world. Volunteers can help out the organization in several ways, one of which is stripping down damaged bikes for parts or even doing repairs. You can learn a cool mechanical skill while also supporting the community, so it's a win win. Thanks for watching, and if you have any other recommendations, please share them in the comments because I am incredibly cheap and am always looking for free stuff to do. Thanks.